Today we start in Ashley, Illinois, where Canadian National's Centralia subdivision passes over the Evansville Western Railway.
As I was making my way up to Centralia, I looked out my window, and lo and behold, a southbound CN mixed freight was coming down with a CN 100 unit second out. So I popped a quick U-turn, got ahead of it, and was able to snag it at this random farm crossing. I'm not even sure it's an official route, but I was able to make my way down just in time.
From here, I would go into downtown Centralia, and not much of anything was happening there, so I made my way over to the CN yard, where we would see the power from our previous northbound right next to a pair of Illinois Central Death Stars. A not too uncommon sight on this side of the line. They would go on to switch the yard, and I would head back to downtown in hopes that this train would soon head north. But unfortunately for me, the next northbound was not the one I was hoping for. Here we see southbound Amtrak 393, an Illinois Department of Transportation funded Illini, headed southbound into their Centralia stop about 30 minutes late before they would head south to Carbondale. Our next two trains would come on the BNSF side, with one being a loaded and one being an empty coal train. Now, if you pay attention to details, you'll notice the reporting marks on those cars mostly said TVAX, which is for Tennessee Valley Authority, the sixth largest power supplier and the largest public utility in the country. Located in Knoxville, Tennessee, their power plant there receives BNSF coal traffic run through from Memphis over Norfolk Southern trackage. I was unable to make out the reporting marks on this train, so I'm not exactly sure where it was headed to. But here, a southbound loaded BNSF coal comes to a stop, just for a brief moment before departing southbound after getting a better signal. This next train is northbound Q197, intermodal from Memphis, Tennessee to Prince Rupert, British Columbia. One of the longest distance trains I think I've ever seen. Later on in the evening, I would move about 8 miles south of town to Holly Road, just south of Irvington, Illinois. And
Out here, there is nothing, or so I thought. Little did I know, I had parked myself right next to Grand Point Cemetery. I don't believe in any of the supernatural ghost type stuff, but when you hear just some strange sounds in the night, you can't help but think, what is really out there? But for now, all that was out there was Amtrak 59 southbound City of New Orleans from Chicago, Illinois to New Orleans, Louisiana. I would wake up the next morning and be greeted with the rumble of EMDs not too long after, and a southbound trio of EMDs with a GP wide cab leading to CN Paint ST70s to come south. We got lucky with a rather eventful morning here, and not too long after that southbound, we would have our northbound Amtrak 390, the Saluki, to Chicago. We would wrap up our 3-train morning on the CN Centralia subdivision with a southbound local with a Jeep leader. When you hear a horn like this, you know the power's bound to be good.